Stacey Gregory from Human Resources for Me. How are you guys doing? I'm just coming up here really quickly to talk to restaurant owners about 4 ways to increase your revenue during COVID-19. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for being so amazing during this pandemic and continuing to keep your doors open and service. Trust me, I do understand how it feels when you're a restaurant owner and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to close my doors. I'm going to do what I have to do. I am going to stay open. I am going to serve, and I am going to do all that I possibly can in order to keep these doors open. I have been there before when I had my own tax business and I had to get pretty crafty with doing certain things in order to keep my doors open. But God took me out of that business and gave me Human Resources for Me, where I provide medical billing, bookkeeping, payroll, insurance verifications, and so much more. So I just want to get right into exactly what it is that I want to talk to you guys about, because I want to be up here very fast. And be out pretty fast. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is when you actually increase certain things on your menu. When you put certain things together, you're actually able to increase your revenue. So I'm going to go over about 4 things, and that will precede our video. So basically, my first suggestion to you guys is to basically create meal package plans, right? So it's not just meal package plans. When you actually advertise something, you need to have a catchy name, okay? Well, first and foremost, one of the things that you can do for meal package plans is you can actually sell multiple meals at once. And I know that every restaurant is different. Some restaurants actually have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some restaurants only serve lunch and dinner. So if you serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, one of the things that you can actually do is you can have a BLD, right? Where you actually offer your customer a breakfast, lunch, and dinner special, and you give them free drinks and free dessert, okay? And then you will come up with a price according to that plan, because there are some people who love takeout. That's all they want to do is have takeout. And then you can also have something called your lazy day special, where a person can be treating themselves, and you make this known in the advertisement that the person is treating themselves on their lazy day. And what they can do is they can have about 3 meals from you. You can actually kind of advertise it where you want to have the 3 entrees, and of course you would price it accordingly and try to give away like a free drink and a dessert, or maybe just it can be either or, the free dessert or the free drink, whichever is actually going to fit what it is that you want to do. So another thing is, what you can do is you can actually create something where you can have a multi-dinner combo, where you actually are giving, where you give the option of actually having maybe about 3 dinner options, where the customer can actually order those 3 things. And the benefit of doing all of that is to actually increase your revenue, because you're asking the customer to actually purchase more than one thing. And of course, you're throwing in your free drink and your free dessert, okay? This section, and another thing I wanted to say to you guys, do not feel bad about offering these packages during this time. Some people are actually still receiving unemployment, the pandemic insurance. And if people feel the need that they want to eat out and they want to treat themselves out to having food outside of their home, you want it to be your establishment, right? So you don't want them to actually think of going someplace else. Hey, why not let it be you if they're actually going to be ordering out during the pandemic, right? So I just wanted you to think about that, because people are actually still spending money. People are not just sitting home and not spending money. Some people are still spending money, okay? And why not let it be you, right? So the second option is actually birthdays. During this pandemic, no one has stopped celebrating birthdays. So thank God for the people who are still having birthdays, and that also includes you and I, right? So when people are still having birthdays, people have actually started doing things where they're actually celebrating their birthdays on Zoom, but while they're celebrating their birthdays on Zoom, they are still enjoying their birthday festivities with food and cakes and so forth. So my suggestion to you guys is you can actually create menu plans where you actually offer your menu to serve at least 4 to 6 people, and you actually offer a cake as well. I'm going to give you a few suggestions in regards to that, because I understand that some of you guys don't actually serve cakes. So my suggestion to you is maybe you can actually make a connection with a local bakery. Now, when you make that connection with your local bakery, my suggestion to you is to make sure that you actually taste those cakes of the person that you're actually going to incorporate into your business, because regardless of what happens, you know that if those cakes are good, that falls on you. If the cakes are bad, that also falls on you. So you want to make sure that whomever it is that you partner with that is still open, you want to make sure that their things are actually excellent. Okay, so make sure that you do have the opportunity to actually taste it. And secondly, in regards to ordering cakes, once you actually look at the bakery's prices and how much they charge, maybe they may charge $40, $50 for a cake, and then now you have to look at your menu plan and say, okay, I want to offer meals for 4 to 6 people when I do the birthday package, but I don't know if the median income of my community, if they will actually accept this. So this is something that you definitely have to take into account. The reason why is because you want to keep your customers happy, right? Whenever you're putting out those prices and you're putting out this advertisement that now you're actually going to be doing birthdays, if your customers are not understanding that, if they're not receiving that, it's a total misfire of communication, total misfire. So if you know that your customers kind of like, you know that they're not going to spend $100, you know that they're not going to spend $90, you know these people because you've actually worked with them for a while, you're not going to put that out there. So if you know that Bessie's cakes kind of fall in a higher range, but her cakes are nice, you're going to have to possibly fall back. Or either you can say, you know what, Bessie, I'll keep you in mind. Maybe we can actually work something out where if I do get a customer who would actually like to do this, then you know what, okay, I'll keep you in mind and I'll do business with you. So that's something that you have to remember as well. Second option can be the supermarket. Depending upon where you're at, and same thing as well, taste your supermarket's cakes. Once you decide to incorporate them into your menu plan, you want to taste the supermarket cakes. Okay, but I'm so sorry, please forgive me. I'm just going to go back to option A of what I'm talking about in regards to birthdays. When you whatever you work out with the bakery, with whomever it is that you decide to actually do the bakery with, you want to make sure that you guys actually have the open communication of how the cake is going to get to the customer. The reason why I'm saying that is because you want to have everything together. Is Bessie going to deliver the cake to you and you deliver it to the customer? Or is Bessie actually going to deliver? Are you going to communicate with Bessie and Bessie's bakery is actually going to deliver it to the customer? The reason why you want to have all of this planned out is because you don't want the stress and the aggravation. You know what you can handle. Through the grace of God right now, we have DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these other places that can actually do the deliveries, right? But what if Bessie's is a little bit far out, right? But however, the fact that you're actually offering this birthday package, this is actually going to bring Bessie's Bakery more money. So Bessie's Bakery may be the one to actually deliver the cake. So that's something that you have to work out. Okay, so now we're actually going to option B of the bakery. Okay, for option B of the bakery, okay, if you know that once you've looked at the pricing plan of Bessie's and you say this is going to be too high for my customers are not going to go for this. What you want to do is you want to go and take a look at your local supermarkets, whether or not you're around Food Lion, Ralph's, Walmart, wherever, okay? You want to check it out, and you want to check out the pricing of their cakes. You want to check out the presentation of their cakes, because no matter who you do business with, it always represents you, and you want to make sure things look good, right? And you also want to make sure that they taste good, because I have seen some beautiful cakes, okay, but they have tasted really nasty. So you want to definitely do the tasting of that, okay? Now, so, once you find that, you know for sure that more than likely, if you deal with the supermarket, you're actually probably going to have to pick up the cake, and you're going to have to find out their rules and their regulations, if whether or not they actually decide, okay, listen, if you want this specialized cake to have Michelle's name up there or Tabitha's name, especially, to be custom made to say happy birthday, then you have to place the order 2 days in advance. So if you want a picture cake, you have to place this 3 days in advance. Whatever their rules and regulations are, you make sure you find them out, so that way you can incorporate that into your business. Also, make sure that you also incorporate your traveling back and forth, or if you actually have to have one of your employees go back and forth to do it. Time is money, and money is time. It never changes. Doesn't matter what you're doing, okay? So then the third option, right, after you do the pricing for the supermarket and your menu plan, and you say, well, gosh, this is still going to be kind of costly. I don't think this is going to work out for my customer, especially with the money that they make in my area and stuff like that. Then the next option of what you can do is you can actually go down and do an Entenmann's cake. The reason why I'm suggesting an Entenmann's cake is because a lot of times, or cupcakes, either or. The reason why I'm suggesting Entenmann's cake, I'm going to show you, first and foremost, let me show you a picture of the Entenmann's cake. The reason why I'm suggesting Entenmann's cake is because it's a simple flat cake. They're generally pretty good, and what you can do is you can actually get simple birthday signs, okay, that you can put on there. You can even get something pretty like crazy candles, where you give that to the customer. They can actually put that on the cake. You can also get this beautiful, unique flower called the lotus candle, and I love the lotus candle. I mean, it is so pretty. It is amazing. When you begin to actually add this to your menu and you add the lotus candle, my suggestion to you is that when you do your advertisement, you advertise that lotus candle, because that's going to make people excited about buying it, okay? So my suggestion to you is, if you do the Entenmann's cake, I don't suggest that you send it in the box where it says Entenmann's. I suggest what you do is you take it out the box, you put the birthday sign up there, you put the candles on the side, and a little, saran wrap or whatever. Once you put the birthday sign on the Entenmann's cake, what you can do is you can just wrap it in some saran wrap, and then include the rest of your meals. Why? Because you're still including the birthday cake, okay? Or you can actually get some pretty store-baked, some pretty store-bought cupcakes. The pretty little designer cupcakes, not too fancy, but sometimes they have those pretty colors up there. So you can add the option of cupcakes or a cake, So, and again, if you do the cupcakes, you can get some cupcakes, and they can actually have the signs up there that may say happy birthday, okay? So those are some awesome options that you can actually think about in regards to actually doing the birthday package. Option number three right now, especially in this pandemic, is maternity. Okay, the reason why I'm talking about maternity is because right now a lot of people are not able to really get the support that they need from their family with the pandemic. Some people are not able to travel. Some people are not able to actually have their family members over. So you may be dealing with a mom who is a single parent. Maybe she may have other kids. Maybe it just may be her. Or maybe it just may be her and her other children, and now she has a new baby that she's going home with. Or it just may be her and her new baby. Or it just may be her, the new baby, and her husband, right? So in all of this, if you start to reach out to, well, first and foremost, I need you to understand what I mean by the maternity package, okay? What I mean by the maternity package is basically where you offer a few meals, whether that be for 4 days or 3 days. And what you can do is you can offer maybe 3 entrees or 2 entrees. each day. So that would be 6 meals. And of course, when you do something like this, because it's your food and you know how long it's going to last, you have to put like a little instruction booklet in there to explain, okay, for day 3 food, maybe you should freeze it and then take it out, you know, earlier in the day, let it thaw out in the refrigerator, and then you can microwave it, okay? Or day 2 food, or keep it at whatever temperature. The reason being is because you always want to represent your product in the right way, and also too, when the customer has your food, you want it to have that nice freshness, that, you know, where they said, okay, Ralph's food was really good, you know, I'll try them again. So in order to do this, in order for people to know that you actually have this maternity package, you would actually have to reach out to the people whom you know help to deliver the babies. Now, those people is the OBGYNs, okay? You can actually reach out to OBGYNs if they're actually in your area. You can actually even reach out to your local community board. You know, even though people may be working remotely, it may be somebody there in the organization that may actually help with certain community matters. Maybe it's somebody who helps with single parents, and everything, and or families, or whatever the case may be. And then you can let them know, hey, we're offering this package. Also, you can also reach out to a local hospital around you and speak to the social workers and let them know that you're actually doing a maternity package. Okay, the maternity package, and when you talk to them, you can let them know, because people always want to know what's in it for them and why you're doing it, right? So the maternity package would be so that way you can actually help the new mom and the new dad, you know, who's getting accustomed to the new baby. Their bodies are the mom is probably extremely tired, and you can actually provide a well-nourished meal, you know, for a few nights. And you just really want to help out during this time, because you understand that some people may not really be able to support their family how they usually support their family, by coming over to cook for them and to do certain things. So right now you guys are actually offering this great package, okay? And again, like we talked about earlier, check out the median income of your community. When I say check out the median income of your community, there's actually certain websites where you can actually look at the median income of the community. But because you've been in business for a while, just look back and say, okay, you know what, when I tried this package or when I tried that, I know that, you know, they kind of didn't spend this amount of money, or they did spend this amount of money, because you know your customers, you know what they're willing to do, and you know what they're not willing to do, okay? So, and option number 4, and then I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back to that again. You're being a blessing. So, you know, just know that you're coming up with something to say, I'm going to help out during this time. You know, I can serve during this time, and my business can be a blessing during this time, because it is a blessing. You know, I know when I first had my beautiful daughter and I didn't really have the support that I needed, I was extremely exhausted, you know. So doing that would be very helpful. A lot of times, you know, certain things that, you know, I believe that God, you know, gives me to share with others, you know, it may be helpful. It just may not be helpful. If it's not helpful to you, it just may be helpful to somebody else. So also share that with other restaurant owners, just like I would love for you to share this video with other restaurant owners, because a lot of people are going through hard times, right? So when people are going through hard times, they need help. They need solutions to problems. And this is what this video is basically about, to encourage you guys and to provide solutions to your problems, okay? Now we're going to move on to option number 4. Option number 4 consists of just celebrations in general. Since this pandemic has happened, people are still celebrating, right? What are they celebrating? They're still celebrating anniversaries. They're still celebrating business opportunities. If people have gotten business opportunities, they're still celebrating weddings. I mean, so it's still other opportunities. And what you can do is the same thing that I shared with you in regards to the birthday cakes, you know, and the cupcakes and partnering with other bakeries. It would be the same type of notion. The only thing, instead of happy birthday, you would have the happy anniversary sign, or the congratulations sign, or whatever it is, you know, or hooray sign, or whatever, because then you're still able to upsell your meals and then incorporate the cake, except you're just going according to exactly what the occasion is about. Okay, so I mean, just think about it and the awesomeness of it all. Okay, that you're able to actually provide that during this season and really brighten up somebody's day and give people a great time with exactly what it is that you have. You're bringing your restaurant to them. Okay, another option is giving. A lot of people have been so awesome at giving, right? So when I'm talking about giving, a lot of people are actually giving to the hospitals and helping the workers out, and I think that is so amazing. Another thing is if you actually have extra food, or you know that, okay, you know what, when I say extra food, I understand that sometimes, you may start in the day, you have a lot of hope, right? And you say this is going to be a good day, and it just may not be. But if you know that you've been having those kind of days for a while, and you know that you are going to have extra food, one of the things that you can do to help to, to make somebody else's day brighter is to possibly reach out to maybe some of the foster homes or group homes in your area and possibly be a blessing with what it is that you have. And the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of kids are stressed out and kind of like, like suffering right now because of the simple fact that they may not be able to see their families because the court systems are closed and so many different things that usually happen are just pretty backed up. And your meals and your food can actually be a blessing. Even for the shelters, they could be a blessing right now. I'm telling you, it feels so good to give when you can. It's always better to give than to receive, even in your current situation, because it's going to take the burden of your worry off of you. And it's going to, when you see people receive what it is that you have, it makes you smile. It puts you in a whole different atmosphere, a whole different mindset, because you're like, wow, they were really happy to receive that. You feel good, and that's what you want to do at all times. Okay, you always want to feel good. Okay, now basically, here it is today. We talked about 4 different ways for you to increase your revenue during COVID-19. The first one was to offer multi-meal plans, okay, where you're actually offering maybe the breakfast, lunch, and dinner special, the lazy day special, the family meal plan, the multi-meal special. That's number 1. Number 2 is the second option was to offer birthday cakes with your meal plans, and it will give you the opportunity to actually offer more of your food to your customers, because if you're assuming that they're maybe having a party and it's going to be maybe 2 to 6 people or maybe even 2 to 10 people depending upon your state guidelines, this gives you the opportunity to upsell your items, upsell your food, because now you're able to offer a portion meal that will feed 6 to 8 people, and you'll actually be able to fix your menu so that way it can actually show the different things that you actually have while you actually do this. The third option was maternity packages, and of course that is going to require for you to reach out to OBGYNs, social workers, and your community board, which is something so simple you could do. Just making phone calls. If you don't want to make the phone calls, have one of your assistants or someone call, and introduce yourself and tell them exactly what it is that you're doing, because you have something so awesome to actually give to people. And the fourth option was celebrating other things such as anniversaries, weddings, engagements, business opportunities, all of those things that are still taking place during COVID-19, because people never stop living. People just found other ways of doing things. And guess what? People love food, right? They love good food. So you are still in business because of that, right? So I just want to also tell you guys that in order to make this great, you have to advertise, okay? See, I've been hearing here and there that people have been trying certain things, right? And that's who we are as business people. We are hustlers, okay? We're hustlers. Entrepreneurs are a different kind of a people, right? And we're the type of people where when something is a little off kilter, if you have the strength, if you have the joy to go forward, you're going to try different things, right? Because you're going to say, I'm not going to go down like this. I know that there's still hope. I know that I can still do this, right? But when you try these different options, okay, it's like a display, right? If you have a new sign in your window and you're telling people about the new things that you're doing, if you don't have an audience, then you don't exist. I want you to grasp that right now, right? Now, if a lot of people are sitting home right now, they're not coming out like they used to, how do they know what it is that you're offering? Even if you actually have certain things on your Instagram or your Facebook, a lot of times they just may not be looking at it, okay? My suggestion in all of this is that when you decide which options you're actually going to flow with and you decide to go ahead and advertise this on social media, yes, do your regular post. Okay, that is awesome. Do your regular post. I also suggest that you also try paid social media advertisement, so that way your ads can actually float out, okay, and they can actually reach the community around you. And what I also want you to do is I want you to do lead magnets, so that way you can actually collect leads, meaning that you know, maybe you offer a little 10% or 15%, you know, while you're offering these special packages. So that way, you know, if you want this, you know, you basically let them know, you know, if you want this, then what you would do is you actually, you know, leave your name, email address, phone number, and stuff like that. And then when you get the lead magnets, what you're actually doing is you're allowing yourself to constantly put yourself in front of the customer, pretty much like your competitors like Taco Bell and McDonald's, they do, and why you're always receiving emails and stuff like that from them, because they're keeping themselves in front of the customers. That's how they made it throughout this season. Not just television, they kept themselves in front of the customer through sending their regular advertisements. They kept saying, we're open. And it's understandable. You guys may not really have the money to be on television right now. That's okay. But you know what? You still have food, you still have advertisements, and you have social media. So, I mean, use it to the best of your ability. And if you need help with what it is that I'm talking about, if you want to do something different, reach out to me, okay? My email address is staceyg@Human Resources for me. That's S as in Sam, T as in Thomas, A as in Apple, C as in Charlie, EYG@HumanResourcesForMe.com, okay? And what we can do is we can talk about some of the stuff that I've talked about today, and or maybe some other things that you actually want to implement. Another thing that you guys should actually look into right now is the EIDL for the advancements. I believe that they're giving like $1,000 in advance for each employee that you have. And once you actually get that, you know, that'll help you out a lot right now. Okay, so I love you guys. I thank you so much for listening to me. Listen, you don't have to implement one of those things. You can implement all of those things on your menu. But remember what I said, you don't exist unless you advertise, okay? And you exist. Guys, go ahead, continue to be the winners that you are, and win.